morning Summer Seminar. This is Ensign Chris Cassidy of the Naval Architecture and Ocean Engineering Department. I'm here outside Rickover Hall, home of the NAOE department. I'll give you a tour of our facilities this morning. The first facility we will see is the Coastal Lab. This lab has a few different tanks that allow ocean engineers to model real-world coastal situations. The first small wave tank has a wave maker on one end and an artificial beach slope constructed of sand on the other. We can input different wave conditions into the wave maker and construct the beach slope to replicate a real shoreline. One lab you'll conduct as an ocean engineer will consist of running a single wave condition against a set beach slope dozens of times and measuring the height of the artificial beach at different points. You could then plot those beach heights and get a good visual of how a beach slope may shift due to constant wave energy over time. The second tank area in the Coastal Lab is able to be adjusted depending on whatever situation you are trying to test. The circular structure inside the area can be filled on its own as its own ballast tank. The rest of the area, both to the left and to the right of the whiteboard in this video, is actually one single tank. Here, the coastal tank has a temporary wall to help guide waves from the larger wave maker in a single direction to the temporary wave flume seen in the center. We are now in the second testing facility in Rickover Hall used by ocean engineers and naval architects, the Hydro Lab. This first tank is a 120-foot tow tank. This is one of the most used naval architecture tanks in the country, as most facilities like this one are only available to graduate research. It is 120 feet long, 8 feet wide, and 5 feet deep, and is filled with fresh water. This tank is used mostly for ship model testing and for labs. There's a wave maker on the far side of the tank that can create simulated conditional waves using known inputs. Since we know how fast and how big the waves in the Severn River next to the Naval Academy are, we can scale those waves down and create the safe wave conditions in this tank. Additionally, there's a tow tank carriage which we can attach ship models to and drag those models through the water. This creates the same effect as the ship driving through the water, so our naval architects can use this to test the seaworthiness of their designs. These are some of the lab models for the naval architects. The yellow models are used to understand the Archimedes principle. Archimedes' principle states that the buoyant force keeping these ships afloat is driven by the volume of water displaced by the ship. Similarly, the gray-hulled models are used to explore the effects of weight distribution on the stability of ships. As a naval architect, you will use both of these ship models in labs to learn about principles such as the center of buoyancy, center of gravity, and displacement, to better your understanding of ship design and to ultimately be able to design seaworthy ships. The ballast tank, which is drained in this video, is just another freshwater tank available in the lab to be used for all sorts of testing. Beyond the ballast tank is a storage area for large boat models and other lab equipment. On the ground in the cart you can see a blue structure, probably an offshore oil rig model that was tested in the ballast tank. There are also a lot of ship models on the side of the lab. Many of the smaller scale ship models used in the 120-foot tank are stored on the other side of the lab. Those models are typically in the range from 3 to 6 feet long. The models seen here are used in the largest area of the lab, the 380-foot tow tank, and can be up to 20 to 25 feet in length. We will get to the 380-foot tank shortly. Previously, at the 120-foot tow tank, we saw a setup where the model moves and the water stays stationary. More similar to a wind tunnel, this large recirculating water tunnel allows us to see how a moving fluid interacts with different objects. This is the same exact concept as a wind tunnel. The only difference is that our fluid is water instead of air. Testing might be done here instead of a tow tank to collect more accurate data on the forces interacting with the fixed object, or to be able to more accurately control the velocity of the water. There's also a smaller recirculating water tunnel that is used to more specifically measure flow velocities and flow conditions using laser imaging to track the individual particles flowing through the water tunnel. If you choose to become a naval architect or ocean engineer, you will learn more about the concepts of fluid flow when you take your fluid mechanics class. A lot of concepts in this area of research are still theoretical, so you could have the opportunity to do truly groundbreaking research in this lab area. Considered the premier piece of equipment in the Hydro Lab, we are now about to see the 380-foot tow tank. Up the stairs and to the left is the control room, where all of the equipment is controlled from. The tank is so long that you often need a walkie-talkie to communicate with the control room operator while you're out testing. Much larger than the 120-foot tank, this tank is 380 feet long, 26 feet wide, and 16 feet deep. There's a wave maker at the far end of the tank that can create waves up to 3 feet tall. This is significant as you can create full-scale waves in here, meaning more realistic models of naval vessels and other structures can be tested here for more real-world applications. This blue structure to the right is our high-speed towing carriage. Here, you can actually ride on the carriage while you tow your larger ship models to keep a closer eye on them while you collect your data. The carriage runs the entire length of the tank, which means that a lot more data can be collected as a single testing run spanning 300 plus feet lasts a pretty long time. This tow tank is actually the largest of its kind among any university in the United States. It was originally constructed to assist in the design process of our nation's naval vessels. In fact, the only tow tank larger than ours is located in the DC area at the new Navy testing facilities. Since the construction of the new Navy testing facility in the 1980s, our facility has been used just for undergraduate research by USNA midshipmen faculty. Seen here at the end of the 380-foot tank is a dry dock area. The yellow ramp is an artificial beach meant to dissipate any waves coming down the tank. The waves created here can become pretty large, and they would probably topple over the dry dock area if there weren't anything stopping them. You may also notice a blue dinghy tied up behind the beach slope. If there are any adjustments need to be done to the tank that we can't reach from the towing carriage, we can get on the dinghy and paddle out and make any corrections. Before I end, I'll show some examples of research done this past semester. When it comes to testing and doing research as a naval architect or ocean engineer, you can do just about anything as long as you can justify it. Seen here, a recent graduate tested different styles of bidirectional turbines within a cylindrical column to find out which turbine design is most efficient. The mechanical arm you saw moving back and forth is forcing air in and out of the column, replicating similar effects that may be done by ocean waves. The turbines are connected to a shaft which would spin and power a generator. This power utilized the USNA 3D printing lab to build the test turbine. This second example is of a test run by naval architects. The first clip is a side view of one of the ship models being pulled through the water in the 380 tank. The second clip is of a ship model being listed side to side. Thank you all for attending virtual summer seminar this year. If you want to see more of what we do in the NAOE department, visit our YouTube channel and our Instagram.